on here with our KIM10 speakers. Today, you're going to hear from another wonderful woman who has gone through the Radiant Speaker Academy and on to the certification to become a KIM10 speaker. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode. And we are live streaming right now inside the Facebook group because I have a special interview here that you're going to want to hear. So Kathy Neudorf, I hope I pronounced your name properly. Is that right? Neudorf? Yeah. I've actually never ever said that before out loud. So I am so excited to have you here. You and I have gotten to know each other over the last couple of months here, and I just love you. I love your family, and I'm so excited at the journey that God has you on. So before we get into talking about your experience going through the speaker training and becoming a KIM10, a certified KIM10 speaker, I would love for you to share a little bit about just a few minutes about a little window into your world. Who is Kathy and what happens and what do you do?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's absolutely been an honor to get to know you and just to have this whole experience. I'm a homeschool mom to 11. Most of people want to know the age range and how I do it. I don't. I wing it. I wing it every day. The age range is 20 to baby is 9 months. And yeah, I just love Jesus. And so that's been my pursuit, I guess.
So good. Yes. What an inspiration. So tell me, what was it that inspired you or prompted you to embark on this journey of becoming a speaker? First of all, taking the course, like what was it that prompted you to do that?
Well, I don't even know if I was looking for anything. I mean, I am writing a book and I kind of have a vision laid out for my life, the things that I want to accomplish. And I kind of was thinking that the book was next, like the continuation of the book was next. But sorry, I have a kid that's coming.
That's okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Anyway, so the book I thought was next. And then I see this Facebook post and it was just like I don't even know what post it was. I couldn't even tell you if my life depended on it, but it was just something that you posted that about the speaker course, or I don't even know, but it was something about the speaking course. And I was just like, something in my spirit was just like, I want to do that. And then I talked myself out of it and I'm like, why do I have to do everything, right? Homeschool mom to 11. I have my hands full. I'm in the middle of all the things. And I'm like, nah, I won't do it now. I'm just going to do it later. And I asked you even, I said, so when's the next course? When's the next go around? And it was just like God was saying, no, you're going to do it now. And he knows me. He knows when I commit to something, I'm all in or all out. I don't just half commit. And so I was like, well, if I'm doing it, I'm doing the certification in San Diego, like. And so anyway, and it was just like, you need to do it now. And I'm like, well, maybe that's the next step to my journey. So it wouldn't be here right now if I wasn't supposed to do it. And speaking to me so clearly. So yeah, and then actually when I looked into it, what made the final jump was the whole vision behind it. Like, I am all for hearing the voice of God and seeking his face and being in tune with the Holy Spirit. And that is the center, the core of the whole business course, whatever, all of it. And so Michelle Schaefer just has the same, like, my passion, I guess. And so that was what was like, okay, these are like-minded women. They can equip me for more, and that's what I want. And so
that's so good. Yes, Michelle Schaefer, who is the founder of Girl Power Alliance, where the Speaker Academy is under the umbrella of. And for those who don't know that, I want to know, so you decided, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going all in. then you started taking the course. What were some of the things, that maybe challenges that you had, or some of the things that you began to discover, learned along the way? What was that process like for you? Not at the certification part yet, just the course itself.
Well, so I jumped in and I was like, I know exactly what I want to talk about, like, and I had like my outline written in the first week. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to take all the lessons and week by week I'll improve it. And hopefully by the end I'll love it. Um, and like the first go around, it was like, there actually wasn't the first week, actually, there wasn't much tweaking to it. And then the second week, I was getting more unhappy with my written, like not what I had written, but it just wasn't flowing. There was just something. And then by the third week, I was like, okay, God, what do you have to say to all of this? And he's like, I never told you to write about that. And I'm like,
Wow.
what? Like, like, what? Here's
Like,
Kathy playing it safe, right? Like, and he's like, I didn't ask you to write about that. And I'm like, okay, so what do you want me to write about then? And he told me, I want you to share your journey in trusting God. And I'm like, that's like the hardest, like, you don't want to speak about something that touches every nerve in your body, the one that's had you on your knees the most, where you've cried the
mm,
most, where you've just felt it the most. And here I was, that was the one he wanted me to share. And I was like, okay, God, I guess I said yes, I'm all in. So I in the third weekend I switched the whole topic, started over, and that one flowed, obviously.
yes,
We made
yes.
it.
Yeah, and thank you, because it was a very powerful, and you shared so vulnerably as well. And I know that your message is going to really bring freedom to a lot of women and men probably too, in terms of hearing it in. And I'm so excited to see the finished product once it's out into the world. But let's talk a little bit about then, once you got your message together, now comes the time when you fly or drive to San Diego with your family, and you're going to step onto the stage and do a dry run, and then you're going to get filmed, your videotaped. What was going on in you with that anticipation, or that leading up to that time? How was that for you to go through that experience?
Actually, I have to say that wasn't the worst part of it. It was like that part actually wasn't a struggle so much. Like that, to actually go on stage, um, I guess I had mentally already just gone over it so many times. And then the atmosphere. Like, had I stepped into any other platform, I don't know if I could have pulled through,
Mm,
but it was just the whole atmosphere in the room. I've never felt, um, more at home with
mm,
anybody I didn't even know. Like, I didn't know hardly anybody in the room, and yet there was no competition. It was just like a genuine, I'm here
mm,
to help you. I'm here to help you grow. um I want, like, and it wasn't like I'm here to judge your story even, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like, how did you do with all the teaching that you've done?
yeah.
None of that was there. And it was just this growth atmosphere. And I didn't feel like that, just made me feel comfortable, even
Mm,
though I was doing the most uncomfortable thing I'd ever done, right? But at the same time, I mean, was I nervous? Yes. Some people say they never get over it. Like, they're always nervous stepping up on stage. So I don't know. Maybe that's normal. I don't know, because I've never done it before. Um, was I like yelling my story? No, because I'm still not like you're looking at your notes still, because there's this line between wanting to memorize it and just sharing from your heart, but not getting lost on time, so that's a learning thing.
yeah.
And so it's very new, all of it. So yeah, of course I was nervous in that regard. It was all new. But as far as how I felt, I mean, I think there was more the battle between like breaking something I'd never done, breaking through something that I had
Mm,
always kind of been told, you're not supposed to share your story, you don't air your dirty laundry. You don't betray the people that have been involved in your life. And women, first of all, don't talk. They're just supposed to stay at home and be
Mhm.
silent. Um, so breaking through all of that, I think, was probably the biggest thing. But all the weeks in the battle prior to coming had geared me up to not be phased by it so much, because the 2 months prior to going, the enemy almost stopped me from coming. And
Mhm.
so I think I was just like, I knew so badly that I needed to share it, that I needed to be there, that by the time I reached there, and then the atmosphere I got to do it in was just what I needed.
Wow. Wow. I love what you described there, because the enemy does, when we are breaking into new territory, when we are breaking strongholds, things over our life and for our children and for the future generations, there is resistance. There is resistance that happens. And I know, because of your story, you've shared that your voice was not something that was welcomed, as a woman, as in the culture that you were brought up in, and in the messaging that you had. And I can identify with some of that in a different way. But that when you stepped into that to bring the freedom that for yourself, the enemy doesn't like that, because he knows the ripple effect. And what I love about what you just shared, Kathy, is it showed me that your commitment to God, your obedience to God, was stronger than anything the enemy could throw at you. Not to say it wasn't, it was difficult. I know it was difficult, but that you had developed that trust in him. And so that was a living testimony, even of your story that you're sharing.
Yeah, I was definitely challenged in every aspect of what I was writing to see if I actually truly trusted God. And I was like, really? Does everybody go through this when they share something? Do they actually have to be a living example of it, like days before they're sharing it? And it was like a whole journey of another journey or another level, right? My whole journey has been learning to trust God, but this was like another level with another devil on the other side of it. Not today, Satan, right?
Exactly. Not today, Satan. That's the key. And you pushed through, and you shone beautifully. And I love the transformation, and it was just really powerful. And I love how you describe the atmosphere too, because we all felt it. We felt the presence of God there in the room, as all of you, as the first women to go through this certification, to break through. That's another breaking thing that was happening too, is that you guys were breaking through together to launch this new movement that God has ordained us to walk in. And so collectively we were breaking through, and we felt the presence of God. We felt the Spirit of God it was powerful. It was very powerful. So if you were looking back over it, what would you say has been the biggest impact for you to go through that experience?
Well, first of all, just growing, like the stretching in becoming more than you were, going to places that are very uncomfortable, maybe that you've never thought of going through, like in your mind, in your mental space, while you're writing, while you're sharing, all the things that come with that. And then I think if anybody's doing it, I would highly recommend them to finish the process and go get certified. You know what I mean? Like, don't just do the course and then not get certified, because that's kind of like everything, like it just solidifies it and makes it more official. Like, you haven't just taken the course and then you haven't actually had to practice it on stage in front of people, and you could talk yourself out of it. Like, I had an overwhelming um sense of like, this is it, I'm never going to share the story again after, right? But it was just the enemy telling me, you did your part, now you can let it go. Right now
Right.
you've done what you wanted to do, you've experienced it, now
Yeah.
just let it go, right? You never have to share this again. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not listening.
I'm not
I'm
listening.
not listening. I can't hear you. What was that? Like, yeah.
So good, Kathy. I love it. I love the freedom, and I know that it's going to impact your whole family. So you answered my next question. I was going to ask you about if someone was sitting on the fence about whether or not to take this course or this experience to go through the certification, what would you say?
Yeah, I would definitely say, like, yeah, push through it and do the whole thing. Um, don't hold back and don't do the certification. I think it all ties it well together. The experience along with just breaking through the whole way, I think.
Becoming. You said it so
Yeah.
beautifully at the beginning, becoming. Well, I want to thank you so much. And I know that your KIM10 is going to be out into the world pretty soon here. So when it does, be sure and blast it out there so people can hear it. And I would love if you have any final words you want to share with anyone. If they want to get in touch with you and hear more about your story, where can they reach you?
Well, currently I'm just on Facebook, mostly. Um, and I guess my final words would just be like, don't give up, because even when you're home, like the aftermath of coming home was actually the most eye-opening, I thought. Like,
Mm,
because there was the battle to get there, then I pushed through and I did the certification, and I came home thinking that, now, um like, that was great, but I didn't realize the aftermath that would follow, that would create an even bigger freedom than I had thought of. Um,
wow.
and so when I came home, I just had, like, here I am sharing my story of how I've overcome, how I've face to face with the spirit of death, and I didn't commit suicide after all the years of being plagued with that. And then I come back from sharing my story, and I just have this relentless, like, why don't you just end it now? Like, it was just very relentless. And I had all the reasons, and he gave me all the reasons, and he gave me, like, how my husband would be better off if I did, and on and on. And I finally reached out to Michelle Schaefer, and I'm like, seriously, like, is this like normal after, like, I don't know what's normal. I don't know what's, if everybody goes through this, I don't know. And she said something that really, really helped me. She's like, first of all, I rebuke that. And second of all, I did reach out for prayer, and you prayed for me as well. There was other people, women praying, but she said something very profound that I just wanted to hone in on here. She said, you made the decision to not commit suicide, but you've never verbally made the decision that you wanted to live. And I didn't realize that that was two separate things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I've thought if I had overcome the spirit of death, then I would just automatically live, right? But I hadn't ever made the decision that I wanted to live. So
Mm-hmm.
every time life was hard, there was still this open door, this option. Maybe you don't want to live. Like, yes, you've conquered the spirit of death. You're not afraid of him anymore, but maybe you don't want to live still, because you still have that choice. And that was like a new revelation to me. Maybe to a lot of people it isn't, and it sounds weird, but it was just like, oh, I guess I never chose that I wanted to live, even if life was hard. And so I verbally made that decision, and I rebuked him, and I rebuked him every time he came. And I just said, no, I choose to live no matter how hard it is. And it just all went away. Like, it was just this whole
So
burden
good.
felt went away. So I would say, like, whatever your journey is, whatever you're going through, whatever you're pushing through to get there, don't stop till it's done, till you've had victory.
So powerful. Thank you so much for sharing your so vulnerably as well. And what a powerful story of freedom and perseverance and victory. Yeah. And the other side of that, looking back and seeing that in the midst of that, how many times the enemy wants to stop us is because he knows the power of the message, and he knows the power that God is going to flow through us as a vessel to reach people as we step into the fullness of who he's called us to be. So I just want to applaud you. I just want to applaud you for your perseverance, your obedience to God, and your yes to God. I really do, Kathy. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I asked myself the whole way why I was doing it. Like, why do I think I have to do this and raise 11 kids? Isn't 11 kids enough? Like, but there's just something deep within me that wants all he has for me. And this is how it's unfolding. And I couldn't be more privileged that it's unfolding in this community of amazing, beautiful women that inspire me to be more every day. I get to be friends with them on Facebook. I see their posts. I see their pages and how they've grown. The women on the stage really inspired me to do the leadership course, which I'm jumping into right now at the end of the month. And so, yeah, it's just been all of it together.
So good. Love you so much. Thank you so much for taking time to share with us your journey and inspiring so many. And I know this is not the end, but just the beginning. We're going to hear her voice much more around here. So thank you, Kathy, and thank all of your family for giving you the space to do this.
Thank you so much, Lisa. It's been an honor.
Love you. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
As you're listening today, you may have felt prompted to say, hey, I want to take that course. I want to become a much better speaker. I want to be able to speak with confidence, clarity, and transformational impact. If you're interested in learning more about how to become a certified KIM10 speaker and get a part of the movement to get on KIM10 stages, or just to up-level your skills as a speaker, then I want to invite you to check out the link in the comments below, wherever you're listening to this, and we'll send you information when the next round is open up. In the meantime, your voice is an instrument of transformation and needs to be heard, so let it be heard.